In February 1925, the governor of the province of Viipuri and agrarian or centrist politician Mr. Lauri Christian Relander was elected the Finnish president. He was only 41 years old at the time. He also, out of the 12 Finnish presidents, is the youngest one to have been forced to retire, in his case by electoral defeat, only at age 47. He was born in the former Finnish Karelian and current Russian Karelian town of Kurkijoki in Ladoga, Karelia, in May 1883. He got a bachelor's degree in philosophy or arts and in agronomy. He also gained a doctorate in agriculture or agricultural economics in 1914, but he failed to gain a lectureship at the University of Helsinki. He served in the Finnish Parliament from 1910 to 1913 and from 1917 to 1920. He also served as the chairman of the Finnish Parliament or Speaker of the Finnish Parliament from 1919 to 1920. Then he was appointed governor of the province of Viipuri. His nomination was only confirmed days before, or at most 1 week before, the 300 presidential electors met. He got the votes of the Agrarian Union, whose candidate he was, of the moderately conservative National Coalition Party, and of the Swedish People's Party, and thus he was able to defeat the progressive or liberal candidate and the governor of the Bank of Finland, Risto Ryti, by 172 votes to 109. According to some contemporaries, at least, the Swedish People's Party's electors more eagerly voted for Relander because he happened to be married to a Finland-Swedish woman. This story may be partly apocryphal because also Mr. Ryti had a Finland-Swedish wife, although Ryti had campaigned as a Finnish peasant's son. Strong right-wing opposition to the outgoing fellow progressive or liberal President Ståhlberg, Ryti's membership in the same party, whose popularity had already begun to fall, and at least some career politicians' desire for a more approachable and less independent president may partly explain Relander's victory. Two other important factors should be mentioned. Mr. Relander was an active member of the Civil Guard voluntary military organization, and he accepted the right-wing worldview typical of white veterans of the 1918 Finnish Civil War clearly more wholeheartedly than Ryti did. Also, Relander was a much more talkative and social person than the intellectual, reserved and thoughtful Ryti. All of the prime ministers whom he appointed were older than he. Several fellow politicians considered Relander as too young and inexperienced to be an effective president. He was notable for visiting some or several of Finland's neighboring countries or countries of the Nordic and Baltic regions. He did a few notable things during his single term as president from 1925 to 1930. He allowed the Social Democrats to form a minority government, and as one of the ministers of the government, he appointed Ms. Miina Sillanpää as Assistant Minister of Social Welfare. She was Finland's first female cabinet minister ever. He dissolved parliament twice, in 1929 over a dispute on the civil servants' salaries, and in 1930 to have the parliament outlaw the Communist Party and its affiliated organizations by ratifying the previous parliament's attempt to change the Finnish constitution. In the late autumn of 1930, he realized that he would not be re-elected because the agrarian leadership refused to re-nominate him, and during the ensuing winter he sabotaged or tried to sabotage the prospects of his former Agrarian League colleague and rival, Mr. Kyösti Kallio, so that the Conservative Prime Minister Per Eyvind Svinhufvud would be elected, and he was narrowly elected. After his term as president, he served from 1931 until his death in 1942 as the general manager of the Finnish Rural People's Fire Insurance Company. He died of heart failure.